The quantum stabilizer hummed beneath Jennifer Dragon's feet as she stepped onto the orbital platform. Earth hung below like a blue marble, its surface scarred by the atmospheric processors that had saved humanity 3 generations ago. As chief diplomat for the Terran Coalition, she wore the symbols of her office, a neural interface crown and the crystalline ring that marked her as one of the architects those who'd shepherded humanity through the climate collapse. The ring pulsed with stored quantum data, a repository of treaties and agreements spanning half the solar system. It was one of only 12 in existence, each grown in zero-gravity labs from programmed matter that could interface directly with its wearer's nervous system. Alex Amorov stood at attention near the airlock, his young face tense beneath his security detail's helmet. At 19, he was the youngest officer ever assigned to protect a coalition diplomat. His neural implants flickered with tactical data as he scanned the station for threats. "Ma'am, the Martian delegation is delayed," he reported. Solar flare disrupted their trajectory. ETA, now 4 hours. Jennifer nodded, her mind already calculating the diplomatic implications. The Martian colonies were pushing for independence, and this meeting could determine whether humanity's interplanetary civilization would fragment or cohere. "We'll use the time to inspect the refugee sectors," the station commander mentioned, overcrowding. Alex's jaw tightened. "Ma'am, those areas aren't secure." "Then you'll secure them, Lieutenant." Her tone was gentle but firm. They took the maglev through the station's spine, past the gleaming commercial districts where traders hawked Europan ice and Titan hydrocarbons. The refugee sectors were different cramped modules where Earth's climate refugees and Mars's labor surplus waited for processing, for permits, for hope. The air smelled of recycled sweat and cheap protein paste. Children with hollow eyes watched from doorways. These were the forgotten ones, caught between worlds in the vast bureaucratic machinery of interplanetary migration. A girl emerged from the shadows. She couldn't have been more than 8, her clothes patched and repatched, her dark hair matted, but her eyes were sharp, intelligent, taking in every detail of Jennifer's diplomatic regalia. "Pretty," the girl said, pointing at Jennifer's ring. Jennifer knelt, bringing herself to the child's level. Alex's hand moved to his sidearm, but Jennifer waved him off. "Thank you. What's your name?" "Mira." The girl stepped closer, unafraid. "My mom has a ring like that." The words hung in the recycled air like an impossibility. Jennifer's smile froze. There were only 12 rings. She knew every architect personally. None had children in refugee camps. "Your mother's ring, can you describe it?" Jennifer's diplomatic training kept her voice steady, but her mind raced. Mira's small fingers traced patterns in the air. "It glows, changes colors. She touches it and sees things, pictures in the air, numbers." The child's description was too accurate, too specific. Alex had gone rigid beside her, his tactical implants likely flagging this as a security anomaly. "Where is your mother now, Mira?" The girl's face fell. "She got sick 2 weeks ago. They took her to medical." "But..." She didn't finish. Jennifer's ring pulsed, accessing the station's database through her neural interface. Medical records, death certificates, quarantine logs there. Mira Rostova, age 8. Mother, doctor. Yuki Rostova, deceased, cause, radiation poisoning. But Yuki Rostova shouldn't exist. Jennifer dove deeper into the data, her architect privileges unlocking classified files. Dr. Yuki Rostova, quantum physicist, former lead researcher at Ceres Station, Project Horizon. The file was sealed with encryption that made Jennifer's blood run cold, military grade, dated 3 years ago. Project Horizon had been the Coalition's most classified initiative, creating a 13th ring, one not bound by the architect protocols, one that could potentially override the entire system. The project had been shut down, declared too dangerous, or so she'd been told. "Alex, get me a secure line to Coalition Command. Now." Jennifer's voice had the edge of hardened steel. "And find out where they took Dr. Rostova's body." But even as she spoke, Jennifer's ring vibrated with an incoming priority message. Not through official channels, this was peer-to-peer, architect to architect. The holographic face that materialized was one she'd known for 20 years. Director Chen, head of Coalition Intelligence. Jennifer, step away from the child. This is not your concern. A 13th ring is everyone's concern, Director. You told us Horizon was terminated. Chen's face remained impassive. Dr. Rostova stole prototype technology. She died before we could retrieve it. The ring must be secured. Jennifer looked down at Mira, who clutched a small bundle to her chest, her mother's possessions. Understanding crystallized. She gave it to her daughter. A ring designed to work differently, without the architect protocols. What was it really for, Director? What were you planning? Stand down, Diplomat Dragon. This is a security matter. But Jennifer was already moving, her own ring interfacing with the station's systems, broadcasting her findings to every architect simultaneously, to the press feeds, to the Martian delegation in transit. Transparency, the only weapon against conspiracy. Alarms blared. Alex drew his weapon, but not at Mira, at the security forces pouring into the corridor. Lieutenant, whose side are you on? Jennifer demanded. Alex's young face was pale but determined. The right one, ma'am. Always. The standoff lasted 4 hours, exactly the time it took for the Martian delegation to arrive. When they did, they found Jennifer Dragon, an 8-year-old girl, and a junior security officer holding the station's command center, broadcasting evidence of a plot to create a centralized control system that would have made the coalition architects into dictators. The Martian independence movement evaporated overnight. United against internal corruption rather than divided by colonial grievances, humanity found new purpose. And Mira, the homeless girl with her mother's ring, became the first child granted architect status, a reminder that power must serve the powerless, or it serves nothing at all.